Hello, everyone. Welcome back for Savannah Community Headlines Live. My name is Frandasia Williams. Those who know my soul call me Franny. I am the owner and founder of Guided Surrender, which is a lifestyle wellness company. It is my passion and my purpose to assist others or guide others to healing using what's already within. I'm a certified yoga instructor. I'm a wellness guide. And I work in topics and hosting shows of wellness and of health and abundance and enriching our lives with all the beautiful things that come with living life. And so I'm happy to be here as your host of the Savannah Community Headlines Live Racial and Ethnic Approaches to Community Health Edition, where we have partners of the CDC's Racial, Ethnic, and Approaches to Community Health grant. We also have a few other partners with us today. One of our show sponsors from the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We have some information on updates about COVID vaccines and the CDC's grant for COVID vaccines, as well as some updates from some of our partners. And then our Encourage Health Live show host is here today, and we are going to check in with him as well as me about what you guys can look forward to on July 1st for that show. And then we also will have our panel discussion about seasonal eating with Forsyth Farmers Market. So we're so excited to have all of you join us today. Please do jump into the comments and tap and chat. Oh, I'm pressing one too many things. Sorry. So please jump into the comments and tell us how you're feeling today, how you're vibing with what we're saying. If you have any questions for any of our partners or anybody who's coming on to chat today, feel free to jump in there. This is an interactive conversation. We want the community to be a part of it and to engage with us. So let's get this show on the road. Hello, everyone. Let's get all our guests up. How we doing? We have a full house today. Oh, happy Monday. Happy summer solstice.
Oh, well. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. We have a full house today and lots of wonderful information to share. And please, everyone, feel free to hop into the conversation. If you have any questions or any thoughts that come up as we start our discussion today, please do say what you're feeling. Hello, Paula. Nice to have you. Good morning. So welcome all of our guests. And we're going to get started today with an announcement that we have from Step Up Savannah. Step Up Savannah. Excuse me. It is such a morning of Monday. We have Kimberly Paulk here with Step Up Savannah, and she's got an announcement for us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us on today. So we have two announcements this morning. First, Step Up Savannah partnered with the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta to launch a brand new tool that will help connect folks to rewarding leaders and also livable wages. The new tool is called the Career Opportunity Dashboard for Economic Mobility. And we are going to stream it at noon tomorrow on our Facebook page. So tune in at Step Up Savannah on Facebook, and it will help individuals understand which in-demand career paths that will help them achieve self-sufficiency, overcome potential loss of public benefits, and it will be based on our region. And then the occupation and also family dynamics. So that's the number one announcement. We're really excited to partner with the Federal Reserve Atlanta to create this tool, and we will be debuting it tomorrow through a training, and there will be 3 trainings every Tuesday for the rest of June. So please tune into our Facebook page to learn more about that.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you. And then second, we have an opportunity for a listening session with the Median Center. We're hosting this on Thursday, June 17th from 6 to 7, and it'll be on Zoom. You can also find this link on our Facebook page, and it'll just help amplify the voices of the community. And also, if you feel like you can talk about the economic opportunity that you have, and we're wanting to hear from as many voices as possible. So it'll be hosted by Step Up Savannah and the Mediation Center, and it'll be this Thursday, June 17th from 6 to 7 via Zoom.
Awesome.
So, thank you very much.
here's some more information about that. You can look on this banner that we have here. It says there's an age group for this, right, Kimberly? It's 21 to 35.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, got it.
21 to 35, young adults.
Okay, and can you give our guest one more bit of information about how to reach out to you for this program?
Yeah, so you can look at our Facebook page at Step Up Savannah, or if you have more questions, you can always contact us at our main office at 912-232-6747.
Wonderful, and I'll put that up for you. Can you repeat that one more time, Kimberly? 912?
232-6747.
All right, folks, I got you on that. So that was 232-6747?
Yep.
All right, so if you have interest in either one of these programs that were just discussed by Step Up Savannah. So the first, you're partnering with the bank. Can we just give one more tidbit of information about
that? One more bit of information. Yeah, so that you can look at our Facebook page, and again, you can contact us at our main office if you have more questions about it. But it'll be streaming live on our Facebook page tomorrow at noon.
Tomorrow at noon?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. So tomorrow at noon, hop on to Step Up Savannah's Facebook page and come out and see these awesome, amazing programs and be a part of the change that Step Up Savannah is integrating into our communities. Kimberly, thank you so much for coming on for that. And we're so excited to have Step Up Savannah join us today.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks, Kimberly. Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right. So we have so many amazing announcements today and so many different things that those of you watching can participate in. So please feel free to ask any questions and to get connected. We like to use this as a community environment for everyone to have an opportunity to connect in any way that they wish to, and to have outlets for that. And so we're also going to continue to talk to you today about updates with COVID-19 vaccinations and the CDC grant that is being used to help spread awareness and education about COVID vaccinations, help you understand more of where you can get a COVID vaccination. And we know that there's still a lot of questions about COVID vaccinations and a little bit of uncertainty and questions about how to get access to the vaccine. And so we do have Dr. Elsie Smalls here to talk to you a little bit more about that. So hello, Dr. Smalls, how are you?
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. And thank you so much, Franny, for having me here today. It's really a great opportunity. And as you mentioned, there's quite a bit still going on in conversations about the COVID-19 vaccine and, still even the flu vaccine. And so, as you mentioned, Healthy Savannah received a grant back in April. We talked about that last month on the show. And so we're continuing the work of rolling out that grant and the activities around that grant. And to that end, we just hosted a couple of listening sessions, community listening sessions. So interesting to hear that Kimberly and Step Up Savannah will be doing some listening sessions around the work they're doing. And so it's a critical piece when you're doing community work, especially with any kind of community work. But of course, the focus of Healthy Savannah is health equity. And so as we begin to continue the work with COVID-19 flu vaccination grant, we wanted to hear what the community had to say, because, we can write a grant and, build out work plans and activities we think should happen or could happen. But when you're doing this kind of work, it's so important to have the community voices around the table. So to that end, we did a couple of listening sessions last week. Myself and Michelle Hoskins hosted community listening sessions. We had one by Zoom and one in person. And we were able to have some really rich and engaging conversation. It wasn't a large group, but the conversation was so rich and so engaging that gave us, it verified information that we already knew.
Yeah.
But it also gave us some new insight.
Love it.
And so to that end, we're working toward, again, increasing awareness and talking about access and how we can, connect the dots in this grant. One of the main objectives was to begin to talk to people who might become a part of the Trusted Voices. That's the Trusted Voices is the name that the CDC sort of refers to it as. But in this conversation, we wanted to find out from community members whether Trusted Voices was what they saw themselves as if they engaged in this grant. And so we got words like advocates and community health advocates and ambassador. And so we're still working towards finding out what's the best way to engage and give the community ownership of how this grant evolves so that we can get the maximum impact of what the intention is. So I see Nichelle is with us, and so Nichelle, if you would love to add anything to that, or bring some more information to the table, please, take it.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Charles. You covered it as always. I just wanted to chime in and say hey to everybody. Good morning. Hey, it's Rainy. And just underscore the importance of hearing from the community face to face. We're gathering both qualitative and quantitative information, and we can't do what we do effectively without both of them. And it's just, but as a communications manager, it's particularly important to me to be able to look at people face to face and hear stories. We talked to one woman, for example, whose son doesn't want to get the vaccine, and she has gotten it, and now it's a matter of whether they will go to family reunion this summer if he does not get vaccinated. So, excuse me. So we were actually able to come up with a solution, a temporary solution. One other person involved said, well, if he doesn't want to get vaccinated now, why doesn't he just get a series of tests to make sure he doesn't have it now? So it's and I have another friend who's going through that situation. So it's interesting thinking and walking through these issues with folks, knowing that we will need to roll that out on a larger scale to communicate with the larger community.
Thank you.
I didn't hear you, Franny.
Hey, Franny.
I muted myself to make sure we could hear you well. Sorry. Dr. Schmaltz, do you have anything else to piggyback on that? I love this discussion of we're even trying to assist families and the community on how to navigate these situations, which is very important because this is all new.
Absolutely. And Nichelle, thank you so much for sharing that story, because there are so many other stories out there about how this is impacting. Of course, we hear the big news and everything that's, we've heard over the last year, but there are some very intimate and personal stories and issues that folks have endured during this process. And so having the opportunity to share that with someone, and you never know how the dots will connect, where someone may think I'm all alone in this and no one knows what I'm feeling. And then you hear the story and you realize, oh, there is someone else who can identify with what I'm going through. And also, as Michelle, finding solutions. Because, one of the questions we asked in the listening session to sort of generate conversation and engagement was, what is one word that you think about when you hear the word vaccination? And of course, we heard fear, mistrust. Nichelle added a wonderful word, divisiveness, because it has divided families, it has divided congregations, it's divided workplaces, where one side is saying, get the vaccine, I have the vaccine, I want the vaccine, and the other side is saying, no, I don't want anything to do with it because I don't trust it. And so, finding a median, a middle ground for those different perspectives is so important for the health of us all. And so that's the kind of work that we're in, and it's ongoing. It's going to be ongoing.
Right. I do love that. Go ahead, Michelle.
I was going to say that, and that's kind of our longer range work. But in the short term, for those who know they want to get the vaccine, we're facilitating some vaccine clinics, and we're also pointing people to whatever source is best for them and closest to them. But one that may be overlooked is, we talked with Dr. Dowse last month, is J.C. Lewis Health Care Center. Now, last month, they were only distributing vaccines through the center, which is at 5 Mall Way, right behind the mall, right next to the library. But now they have moved into an empty space in the mall near the food court. So, the outdoor entrance to the food court, if you turn right and you go into the mall, you'll find a temporary setup. And I believe they're there from 9 to 1, but be sure to check. And I'll put the J.C. Lewis website and the number in the chat. But again, these are free. This is one thing that came up in conversation. These are free. And I don't think I've ever been asked for an insurance card, but some people have been, but you don't need an insurance card, and there's no cost. So if you haven't gotten it, go to the J.C. Lewis Center or a place near you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you both for sharing that information and keeping us updated, because it does change and there's still so many questions, and not everyone is 100% confident on who they can trust on where to get that information. And so if we do have viewers who would like more information, we do just get some sites where they could go to chat. Is there anywhere online that you would like to send them to look, or any resources that they can find in the community?
Yes, I'm going to post. I'm going to post that in the chat to get it to you.
Perfect. Okay, so we'll get that information for all of you. Just in case you do have any questions, we'll put it into the stream for you. And feel free to reach out and to Healthy Savannah, and keep coming in and tuning into our shows. We typically do cover something about what's going on with vaccinations and where we're at with COVID as we navigate this territory. And if you have any questions, you can also feel free to drop those in the chat. Thank you both for sharing that. Any other additional information that you wanted to share with us in regards to the CDC grant? No? Okay. And then Michelle, you had a chance to did you already put that in there?
I am pulling it up right now.
Okay, take your time. Take your time.
Okay.
While you're doing that, we're going to check in with Alfonso. Hi, who's here with us with the Metropolitan Savannah Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and you have some updates for us too about COVID vaccinations and what's happening right now with the community, and making sure we have lots of exposure, as well as some announcements for us. Yes.
Thank you. Thanks for having us here. Yes. One of the things that I hear when I hear everything about COVID, all the not excuse reasons why people don't vaccinate, and it's not accessible, or where can I get the vaccine? Is it safe? And there's a lot of myth out there. We have a whole page of myth clarified that St. Joseph put together. So because we want to have disenfranchised people, individuals, to have access, we don't want anybody left behind. Right. And that was the same sentiment. It is the same sentiment in St. Joseph, Taylor, and a lot of our community partners. So what we did, we started toying with the idea maybe about 3 months ago. And the question was asked, how can we bring in the vaccine to the communities, inside the communities? And at that time, I know there were, we had places where we had vaccines, but they were like in a mall or downtown or at the civic center, or, places where it was comfortable for most people to be able to go ahead and provide the vaccine. So we looked at, So the question was, how can we make it accessible so that we go to the people, the vaccine goes to the people rather than the people have to go to the vaccine? Because it was an understanding there was a lack of transportation in the Hispanic community and other communities, and we want to try it out. Now, St. Joseph had done something like that with the African American churches, and they were really successful. So they tried it. Now we decided, okay, can we try it at the different mobile homes? Was there's a large majority of um, Hispanics living in that region, and they said that's a good idea. Let's think about it. So we met last week, about 10 days ago, and I brought in our partners, Hispanic Chamber partners, churches, migrant community serving institution, um, in the community at large to see how we can do this. And a plan came out to, to do these vaccines in different regions that we identified, where we can go, where's the large majority of people who could have the best chances of actually accessing the vaccine. So we did, and we selected mobile homes in Garden City, and two of them are outside Garden City. They're in unincorporated Chatham. So we went ahead and we developed a strategy, and it was put in place.
Right.
And we started. It was our St. Joseph Kenmore will be administrating the vaccines, and they're going to be administrating the vaccines, the Pfizer. And
Okay.
one of the things that we came across was that because the public school system is going to go live pretty soon, this is the only vaccine that is proven by the CDC that's effective for 12 and over. So at least we get our the youngsters, the kids vaccinated, so they don't go home, and the probability of getting their families infected is much less.
Got it.
Well, so we did. We went on a campaign, and we produced some flyers. You got the flyer? Can you show the
Yeah.
flyer?
Here we are.
So we did the flyer, and St. Joseph just, their media team just went up and said, okay, this is where we're going to have it. And these were the locations that the community selected: the Nassau Woods, Savannah Pines, Regency 1 and 2, and at a church, Primera Iglesia Bautista. All of these are in places where there's a lot of Hispanics, because, mind you, our focus is try to get the Hispanic community vaccinated, because as we find out, they have a large majority of kids in their homes. And so what we've been doing is using social media. We've been getting, and it's great that you mentioned a little while ago, trusted voices.
Right.
Because that's what the census uses for the census. That's what we used. And what we used was trusted voices. Why? Because if these individuals say this is safe, most often than not, people are going to listen.
Right.
And those are your pastors. Those are your community leaders that you see them at a community center. Those are the people who actually are walking. Whenever there's a need for the community, they walk. These individuals actually walk to the homes and provide food in their homes. That's how you gain a lot of trust. So we went out there. We gave. It's going to start Wednesday, and what we did was this past weekend, we went out there and we started giving flyers to people. And at the same time that we were doing that, we were kind of polling to see what was some of the reasons. And some of the reasons, it's some of them had the chip theory. And the chip theory, most of the people that I talked to was people who were religious. We also find out that a lot of the homes, okay, maybe about 80% are not vaccinated. And sadly, those homes that have a lot of people not vaccinated have a lot of kids that can't be vaccinated.
Mm.
So we kind of push the fact that, and my wife and some of the other volunteers, they push the fact that we're gonna go live in school. You don't want one of your kids to get infected and bring in the illness to your family, to the other kids living in the house, and to yourself. Because if you get sick, who's going to provide for the kids?
Mm.
And that was something that is really, really important to the Hispanic family. Just that, the family.
Right.
So with that, we're going to have DJ. We're going to have refreshments at all three places. Three. I don't know what the pastor's going to do. He probably is going to have a lot of food. But what we did was we as a chamber, although it's not normal for us to engage in like community and activism and all that good stuff, we happen to be the trusted source.
Wonderful. And you said this starts Wednesday, right?
This starts on Wednesday.
Okay.
And the first one we're gonna go is at Nassau Woods, and we all the that one of the things that a lot of the mobile home management companies are thrilled that we're doing this.
Yeah.
So they kind of open up doors. Okay, let's do this. What can I do? What can we do? And they're providing resources. They actually providing places so we can put the vaccine because it gets hot.
Yeah.
So we have to put them somewhere that we can put the cooler. And St. Joseph Candler has a lot of experience with this. Sister Pat Baber and Mr. Hinchey and Melissa from the media, they're doing excellent work helping us get all the machine so that we can go ahead and provide the vaccines. And we are just promoting it. And we ask you all to also promote. Anybody can have the vaccine. We're not even getting any paperwork as far as identifying like Social Security or something like that. We're not doing that. You don't have to register. All you have to do is show up, and it's going to be taken care of. And then this vaccine is a second dose also, which is going to come 21 days later at the same place, the same location. So we're going to be visiting those sites twice.
Yeah.
And thanks, and I really thank the entire community. The Compassion Christian, First Baptist Church, St. Joseph Candler, of course, Migrant. This organization, this you guys are going to hear about it pretty soon, is Migrant Equity Southeast, which handles and will be working with a lot of migrants who actually don't know where to go. And so we've been also promoting on our Pasa La Sabana Facebook page and a lot of other pages. And we have a lot of business owners who are going to be providing food and all that stuff. So it's going to be great. So if you have a chance, just go by it.
Yeah.
Go by any of this so you can see what's really happening in the Hispanic community. Because after all, if we don't take care of the family, the whole entire Hispanic population is going to probably suffer.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure we do that. And that's our job. And thanks for the time that you have afforded me to do this.
Absolutely. I put that flyer back up just so our viewers who are interested in coming out for this event. This event is awesome. The reason this is so awesome is because sometimes what is needed is that you come to the place that it's necessary. So going into the neighborhoods, it's so helpful. And so we have this flyer that tells you what dates and what times the event will happen in certain neighborhoods. And Alfonso just told us that on Wednesday, it'll be in Nassau Woods from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. That's in Garden City. And you can reach out for more information to Alfonso and head over to their Facebook page. And Alfonso, can you just give a little bit more information on where everybody can reach out to you or anyone from the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce?
Yeah, they can just send us an email, or they can call my number. It's on the webpage, 912-495-7276.
All right, we're going to do that one more time.
912-495-7276.
All right, everyone. So just to put that number up for you, And if you're interested in receiving any more information about the events that are happening, if you have questions of whether it'll be in your neighborhood, you can give this number a phone call. Also visit their Facebook page and head over to their website for more information. Thank you so much, Alfonso, for popping on to give us all of this information and to be so passionate about making sure that the community stays safe and healthy and has the right access and exposure. We appreciate you coming on today. And I am going to let Dr. Smalls know she did post for us to also be able to visit COVID Vax Dial 311. And that's where you can get more information about COVID vaccines in general, right, Dr. Smalls?
Yes, COVID vaccines in general, and also locations and providers that have the vaccinations available. So yes.
Got it. And then before initially off, she also, if you have interest in going out to JC Lewis, you can contact jclewishealth.org or you can call the number below. So if you are looking for more information, for more resources, here you have it. And we're happy to be here to help get this information to you. Thank you so much, Alfonso. Thank you so much, Dr. Smalls. And thank you so much, Nichelle. She had to pop off. But thank you, all three of you for coming on to give this information. We're so grateful for your time. Thank you. All right. So now that we have gotten that health of wealth of information, we're going to introduce and say hello to Wayne Ashford, who is here with Ashford Tea Company. Wayne is the final speaker for the In-Market Encourage Health Live educational series that we have right here on Facebook. It goes live on Healthy Savannah's Facebook page on July 1st at 1 p.m. I am your host, and we have Wayne Ashford as the speaker, and he's here to tell you a little bit about why you should tune in on July 1st at 1 p.m. for the discussion. Hi, Wayne.
Hello. Thank you guys very much. Thank you for having me. What a great dynamic conversation and information that you guys are putting out. I commend you on the work that's going on with this movement you guys are creating. Outstanding. So I'm the owner of Ashford Tea Company. And what we do is, again, pretty much fits into what you guys are doing with the community, introducing the community to tea, a healthier beverage, introducing it in the whole mind, body, and soul aspect of it. And, everything that we do, especially heightened now with what we've done with what we're going through with the pandemic and the COVID, is, it's our health. So health is the main thing that I believe is the gateway to our peace and happiness. And being able to have these dialogues and, and these telling our stories about what's going on is very, very important. And I think that continues to create enlightenment, discovery, and openness. And I think that's what you guys are doing a great job of doing. So I introduced the health benefits of tea, why tea should be that drink that you continue to drink for the rest of your life, what I call a longevity drink. I consult on that whole aspect of it too as well. I talk about my journey in it. I'm a tea drinker. I've been drinking tea for, since I was 8, 9, 10 years old. My mother introduced me to it. I've been in business for 20 plus years. I'm a transplant here in Savannah, what I call my second life location. And I also talk about, those type of aspects of obtaining, peace and happiness and health in your life. So making what we call at Ashford Tea is a living life to the tea. That's our slogan, which is not living life perfectly, but living life with purpose.
Oh, I love that so much. I love that. I'm so excited for this conversation. And where can everyone find you?
Well, you can find me on ashfordtea.co. So not .com, but .co. And you can actually, set up consultations, see all our teas, our tea wares, information on all the teas that we import. We import teas from around the world. So yes, you can find us there. We're also on social media too as well at Ashford Tea.
Phenomenal. And so on the show is July 1st at 1 p.m. And Wayne is going to be speaking more about the power of tea and its healing benefits. Because Wayne, a lot of people don't realize that you can use tea to heal your body, your mind, body, and your soul, as you spoke about before, right?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And I talk about that in conjunction with just, again, I've been doing this for 20 plus years. And then, I've been using myself in a very living beta, situation every day. But yeah, and how it envelops your life in so many different ways. And again, leads you to that whole lifestyle of more of a healthier journey. Yes, absolutely. It's a big disconnect with tea. I also consult on, the true tea and herbal teas. Also talk about, some supplements too as well. So I try to bring the full gamut of how we try to navigate being as healthy as we possibly can. It's a lot of stuff out there, and to try to help people, make sense of it in a very simple aspect. Because when you drill down into it, it's very simple. I think we just add so many layers sometimes to make it, more complicated.
Yeah, and I think that's with a lot of things with our daily health, especially our holistic health. It becomes something that seems so far-fetched that we just aren't able to make that feel like something that's attainable for us. But you're here to say, actually, it is attainable, and this is how we do it.
Very attainable. And I mean, again, it just gets down to the individual. And the one thing that I think we forget sometimes is that what can we control 100%? As individuals, right. What can we control 100%? And that is the effort that we put out.
Yeah.
We control our effort. So I try to boil it down to that simple, kind of action, our efforts.
Beautiful. Wayne, I'm so excited for our conversation. July 1st. I know we're going to get down into the nitty gritty and really explain what Wayne is talking about on more of a grand scale. So if you are interested in tuning in for that conversation, join us here on Facebook, Healthy Savannah's Facebook page, July 1st at 1 p.m. It's a live stream event. It's just like this where you can be very interactive. You can ask any questions that you have for Wayne, and you'll get more information about what teas Wayne has, as well as their benefits, how you can get access to these teas, and in general, and how to live a healthy and happy life, and what you can incorporate into your life to live abundantly and to live the life that you really want to live. We can have exactly what we want, and we can have it in a healthy way. And Encourage Health Live and Market Encourage Health Live is all about integrating those principles and tools to actually live them out in your life.
Yes, absolutely. I love it. Can't wait.
Can't wait. All right, Wayne, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, guys.
We are so grateful for your time. And that's actually a perfect segue into our panel discussion. So Alfonso, Wayne, thank you both for coming on. And we're going to segue into our panel discussion. We have Forsyth Farmers Market here, which is a really great segue from what Wayne was just talking about, because we're talking about seasonal eating and continuing the health is wealth discussion and talking about how we can use our food to heal our body. And so welcome. Can we have you guys let us know who we have here from Forsyth Farmers Market? Ashley, you want to go first?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Ashley Floyd Clark. I'm the programs director for Forsyth Farmers Market. So I oversee the Saturday market, and I act as the program manager for 912 Food Pharmacy, which is a produce prescription program in Savannah that's a partnership with 4 community clinics to help food act as medicine.
Beautiful. And Tasha, you're on mute.
Good morning, everyone. So I am Tasha, the Education Outreach Coordinator for the Farmers Market. I work mostly with our Farm Truck 912, which is a mobile market. I do community education events, so that usually looks like nutrition education classes in the community. I also do SNAP enrollments to increase food access in Savannah and special events for our Farm Truck 912 program.
Jeb.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Jeb Bush. I'm the Executive Director here at the Forsyth Farmers Market. So a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And so all of us are very excited to be here this morning, Franny.
I'm so excited to have you all here. I'm so any type of discussion about healing, I'm down. As you know, it's my favorite thing to talk about. And I love this idea because I don't think that it's discussed enough, or we talk about seasonal eating, And when we talk about eating vegetables, fruits that are in season, what does that even mean? When I say that, what does that mean?
Well, in this region, it can mean a lot. We're really fortunate that we live in a place where there is year-round something in season. And, you know, as a human who eats food, eating seasonally is kind of how our bodies have evolved. And it's really the idea behind most eating until recent history is that you eat what's growing and what's in season, and nutritionally and, you know, vitamin and mineral wise, nutrient wise, it usually kind of corresponds with what you're needing through the seasons. And we're really fortunate in Southeast Georgia and in the low country of South Carolina that we have such a robust growing season. And so many things can thrive here that we get a little bit of everything. So you can eat great healthy produce almost all year round that comes from one of your neighbor's farms to support whatever is going on based on as the seasons change.
Got it. So we're in summer, and do we have any prominent fruits and vegetables that are currently in season?
Yeah, so it is tomato central right now. It is all over the place. I think I saw every kind, every color, every size of tomato on Saturday. So that is big time. Peaches obviously are in season right now, and that's such a short season. So, you know, get those while you can. Herbs are really vibrant right now. Lots of things kind of start in the spring and go through the summer. And peppers are in season in the summer here, which is super fun. Lots of varieties from something really mellow that you can just eat as a snack to something super spicy you could spice up a hot sauce with. And then on Saturday, I actually saw the first batch of melons coming in. So we had some watermelons and some cantaloupes this Saturday, and that's the first time I've seen those so far this year. So that is exciting for lots of folks as well. So summer.
I am definitely a melon person, so I'm super excited. So what happened on Saturday?
What happened on Saturday? We had a great market. It was wonderful. It was warm, but not the hottest ever, which is, we get into that time of year where it's always a little bit of a guessing game. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. You know, tourists are definitely back. So for locals, I definitely recommend coming early to get your grocery shopping done because it gets real busy as the afternoon goes on. But the summer is the best time to be at the market. There's so many offerings. There's so many of our seasonal vendors are here in the market. So many of our prepared food vendors are using that seasonal produce in the things that they're making. And so, you know, even if you maybe don't know what to do with a whole watermelon, somebody probably has figured out another option for you. So it's really just the most exciting, definitely like vibrant and fun times to be at the market is over the summertime.
Awesome. When is the market open? What times, certain days?
Yeah, so the market itself is open every Saturday from 9 to 1 on the south end of Forsyth Park. So we're kind of between the tennis courts and the basketball courts down there. And we stretch that whole southern sidewalk that goes up to the monument in the center. But the farm truck runs basically Sunday through Wednesday. And that schedule varies depending on the day and the stop. So would definitely recommend following one of our social media pages or visiting our website to get the exact schedule. And then over the summer, we do Friday pop-ups. And so Fridays, the truck is kind of around the community in different neighborhoods that it doesn't normally get to visit. So again, social media pages are definitely the best way to keep up with that.
Phenomenal. Tasha, can you tell us more about what Farm Truck 912 is?
Absolutely. So it's part of our work as an organization to increase food access in Savannah. And so what that looks like Ashley mentioned, we're typically in the community, right? So we talked earlier about how when we are working with communities around health initiatives, it's really important to get in the community and become a part of the community. And so that's our hope with the farm truck, is that we set up in community centers or with other organizations who are already doing great work in the community. And the truck is there typically for about 2 hours once a week. And we bring a smaller selection of the same produce that's at the Saturday market. So we're not able to bring all the amazing produce items that Ashley was talking about. but we have a smaller selection of some of those vegetables and fruits, as well as some things like honey and sauces. It varies with what's in season. And we bring them directly to the community. And so, this is essential for folks who don't have access to transportation, for example, right? We know a lot of our seniors, for example, have transportation issues. And so having the farm truck like across the street from where you live or within walking distance is really important. And then we're also working with these organizations to do special events. So sometimes we have sponsored food giveaways to make sure that folks are aware of the farmers market, they have access to the market and the produce that's on the farm truck. I also do SNAP enrollments. And so we're hoping that, with our SNAP enrollments, individuals who wouldn't be able to afford, this access to fresh, healthy food, they're able to afford it if they're eligible for benefits. And so we actually double SNAP benefits on the truck or at the farmer's market. So if you or anyone that gets food stamps, if you are shopping for produce at the market or at the farm truck, we actually double what you can spend with us. And so the farm truck is really all about making sure that Savannah residents have access to healthy food, and it's really the cheapest, freshest food that you can get in Savannah.
That's awesome. I love that, because you can sometimes get more, and it's healthy food, it's in season food. What about preserving your food? So if they pick it up at the farmer's market, maybe they can't make it the next week. Is there a way that they can preserve what they get there? So because you can double the benefits, they can get a lot of food while they're there. And so how can they go forward with preserving these food and using it throughout the week and throughout maybe the following week?
So I really like, one of the benefits I think of shopping at the farmer's market is everything is incredibly fresh, right? So our farmers are picking everything maybe the week of that it's at the market. And, that's in comparison to a grocery store where something is coming from, South America or Central America. It was picked, who knows, a month ago. It's been in a shipping container, it's been in a boat, it's been in a warehouse, and it finally makes it to the grocery store. And so you find that when you're shopping at the farmer's market or on the farm truck, your produce is actually going to last longer. It's going to be fresher for longer. And so you're actually cutting down on food waste immediately because you're buying immediately, the food is very fresh. I like to freeze whatever I'm not using right away. So if something is starting to get a little soft, especially our fruit, right? Things like our tomatoes and our berries and our melons, I would just cut them up, put them in a Ziploc bag, and they freeze really well. And that way you have access to them for things like making smoothies, making your own sauces, making popsicles. There's so many things you can do with the frozen produce, but I like freezing things if you're not going to be able to use them right away.
Yeah, and I think that once upon a time we would think that frozen vegetables and fruits and vegetables were worse for us, but it turns out like if something that's frozen, especially at the peak of right after it was picked or harvested, it has maximum amount of nutrients, and then it's flash frozen, and so all of that is preserved until you cook it again, right?
Exactly. So I think we absolutely do have to work around that stigma. Frozen fruit is just as healthy, especially if it's fresh frozen fruit that you just bought. Absolutely.
Yeah, and in some cases it's more affordable. And so if you're in a situation where you want to eat healthy and you want to eat affordably, I hear that all the time. It's so expensive to eat healthy, and it's like, well, there are ways to do it. And I love what Forsyth Farmers Market is doing. I love what Farm Truck 912 is doing, because it's one of those solutions to how we eat healthy and get healthy food out for an affordable way. Because I love Whole Foods, but I call it hole in the pockets food sometimes, because I spend so much money. I'll spend $50 and I have 5 items, and it's great. I'm grateful that it's like down the street, but that's not always feasible. It's just not. And we have to be honest and we have to be real about that. I still want organic fruits and vegetables, or I still want fresh fruits and vegetables that I can eat throughout the week and then I can preserve without having a hole in my pocket and not being able to pay for anything else for the rest of the week. Like, that's the truth of the situation.
Yeah, and at the market, when you utilize the SNAP system, we basically exchange it for tokens, and the tokens are, they'd never expire. So if you come one week and you get everything you think you're going to be able to eat in a week and you still have tokens left over, you can absolutely bring them back the next week, the next month. We're there every single weekend. So that's another easy way to kind of budget out what you're spending on fresh produce. And if once you kind of figure out, we eat approximately this much in a week, that way you can kind of, budget that out the way you need to. And what is more refreshing in the summer than a chunk of frozen watermelon? Like that's
yes, I agree. I'm so excited to make watermelon juice today. You have no idea. And then the other part of shopping at farmers markets, which is so great, is it's local. You're supporting local farmers. You're eating local food. And the best, as Ashley spoke about at the beginning of our conversation, the best things for us nutrient-wise are the things that are locally grown, and because it's in the environment that you're spending the most of your time. And I think also like it's this bigger point of everything that you're doing with Forsyth Farmers Market and all the programs that you're creating, it's to help with food security, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's kind of at the core of a lot of the work we do. So Tasha does great work helping people get enrolled in SNAP, and we accept SNAP and EBT cards at every event that we do and everywhere that you can find food with us. But other than that, we do a lot of other work in the community to make sure that we're contributing to addressing the food insecurity that exists in our neighborhoods. So during COVID, we had a really great food delivery system that was working to try to get food to folks who needed it during the time, and people could donate directly to that fund so that they could help, provide fresh produce for a family who needed it. Tasha does a lot of great work on the truck with getting food out into the communities for special events and working with communities that need it, and as well as hosting a lot of nutrition education and cooking demonstrations so people feel comfortable using the produce that they're seeing, so that it seems a little less intimidating to use.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, my friend called me maybe a week or two ago and she was like, how do you make Brussels sprouts? And I was busy. I was actually about to teach yoga class. So I said like 3 steps and she was like, you don't ever send me 3-step recipe ever again. I had no idea what to do. but you're right. Like you can have the initiative and the will to want to make something healthy, but just not exactly sure what to do with it. Like I have a bunch of spinach, I have some kale, some Brussels sprouts, and some sweet potatoes. Like, is this a meal? It absolutely is a meal. How can we make it a meal is sometimes not always clear, right?
Exactly. And, we find that it's great to be able to buy this produce, so like Ashley is saying, and like you're saying, Franny, having the knowledge of how to prepare it, is really what's going to make the difference as far as the lifestyle changes that we make. And so we have historically been able to teach cooking classes around, using this produce that you're able to buy at the market. Prior to COVID, we had an amazing class. It's called A Taste of African Heritage, and it was a free 6-week cooking class that we taught in the community. And it really was about connecting individuals to eating healthy food, but kind of removing a lot of the stigma that's associated with what we consider a traditional African American diet. And so what we also found is that a lot of the foods that we are eating or that are considered Southern food are based on African cuisine. And it's also really common in other cultures as well, whether you're from the Caribbean, whether you're from Latin America. And so we're able to reach a lot of people and from various cultures with this class, and really teach them the skills that they need to be able to cook these produce in healthier ways.
Yeah, which is super, super, super important. And another thing I love, Deb, when I was first talking to you about Forsyth Farmers Market, you just talked to me about this amazing community of people that work with Forsyth Farmers Market, the people who come out, your regulars, people who you love to see. You talked about it almost like it was a family. And I think that is such a refreshing feeling for those who may not have joined you all yet to come on out and know that it's a comfortable place to be. It's free flowing. The energy's nice.
Yeah, so I think there is, for those who are not used to shopping at a farmer's market, there might be a level of intimidation just because you don't know what to do and you're not sure what's in season. And but, you can come up to the information tent and meet Ashley and Lou, and they'll kind of walk you through how to get around the market. And also just go up and talk to the vendors, because all of our vendors are so nice. And they're kind of the experts on their own products, on how to prepare them and how to use them, and you can really just learn a lot just from just having conversations and just going in and just meeting the other people. And you can be at one vendor and ask how to prepare it, and somebody's going to overhear that conversation and jump in, and all of a sudden you've got a group of people that are talking, and you're a part of that community.
Exactly. And that, I think that's very comforting. And then I also think that there are stigmas with using food benefits, and sometimes going to mainstream stores, there's a little bit of angst about using food benefits, especially sometimes you're on food benefits for a period of time. You may have just lost your job. With COVID, there was a lot of job loss and the unemployment rate skyrocketed. And so it might be the first time that some of our community members are using benefits and are still understanding how to use the system, how to feel comfortable using the system, because it's definitely something that's here to support everyone. And there should be no stigma, no negative feelings, no negative connotations. It spins just like money. And so can you speak a little bit on that feeling sometimes that, could occur from needing to use benefits and knowing that, like, you come to a place like Forsyth Farmers Market, it's complete cool. It's money. It's like, let's get you some food.
Yeah, I think one of the benefits of the token system is it does kind of remove some of that stigma. It's like most people are walking around shopping with tokens. It's also kind of a human ATM if you brought a debit or credit card and forgot to have cash. All you do is you come to the information tent, you swipe your EBT card, and we will give you tokens to use at the market. Based on whatever amount you tell us, we can do any whole dollar amount. And then we match that with additional funds for fruits and vegetables. So if you swipe your EBT card for $10 at the booth, you're going to walk away with $20 to spend in the market. So it's also a nice way to kind of make your money work more for you. And those tokens, if you don't use them at the market, you could also take them to a truck stop and use them on the truck, later in the week if you don't find exactly what you need, or you run out midway through the week and you need to pop out on a Tuesday to go get something. So I think the tokens are really helpful, and we try to create a really welcoming and, comfortable environment for that. We're happy to, answer any questions, to help you navigate it as whatever questions you need, introduce you to any of the farmers, or point out good places to spend your tokens for different things. Kind of like Jeb was saying, it feels like a family at the market. The vendors love when you ask them questions. They are there to interact with the community. That's the benefit of a farmer's market versus, selling wholesale to a store. So ask them questions, ask them about their product, ask them how they would prepare it. They love to talk about that kind of stuff with people who come to the market. So it really does create a nice kind of, it's a family-friendly, welcoming, very like communal space to just like chat about food with other people who love it just as much as you do.
Awesome. And just for those who might have joined the conversation a little bit later, or maybe after when we broadcast, when can they access Forsyth Farmers Market?
So the farmers market is open every Saturday morning from 9 to 1 at the south end of Forsyth Park. And we can give you the information for our social media and website so they can find that truck schedule also. But the truck basically runs Saturday through Wednesday.
Okay, got it. Very, very, very good. And so thank you all for coming on to share about the market in general, how you can use benefits there, when you can come out. Are there any other programs that you want to spotlight at this time that go through Forsyth Farmers Market that our community may not know about and could use as a resource as well?
Franny, I'm going to let Ashley take that, but before I do, we're going to talk about 912 Food Pharmacy, and that really goes into seasonal eating. We intentionally run the food pharmacy program as a 6-month program, and it starts in March and ends in August. And the idea with using that calendar is pretty much everything that you can access in our region at some point in time during that 6-month period is going to be available. And so, that's all about the eating seasonal, eating local. And Ashley can tell you a little bit more about how that program runs.
Thank you, Jeb.
Yeah, so 912 Food Pharmacy is a produce prescription grant through the USDA that is designed to specifically use food as medicine. So we're partnered with 4 clinics in the community that serve either underserved or uninsured populations. So those are the St. Mary's Health Clinic through the St. Joseph Candler Family, Memorial Children's Hospital, Gateway Behavioral Health, and the Chatham County Health Department. And what we do is work with folks who have or are at risk for a chronic diet-related disease, something like diabetes or high blood pressure, things like that, and are also utilizing some sort of food benefit assistance, so SNAP or WIC or are Medicaid or CHIP eligible. And for 6 months, you receive vouchers to purchase fruits and vegetables from either the farmer's market or the farm truck. And as Jeb just mentioned, it's designed to run through the peak of the seasonality for this region. So it goes from March to August of each year. We have a nutrition educator who develops a specific cooking curriculum that goes with the produce that will be in season. So for example, this month we're talking about peaches and tomatoes. So there's a lovely peach tomato salsa recipe that's in there, and then also a peach smoothie. Yeah, and so it's designed to use the produce that you can get on the truck. It's designed to be simple and easy. None of the recipes are more than an hour, and none of them have more than 5 or 6 ingredients. And so each month we chat with folks. We offer them a sample of the produce. If it's something they've never had before, they get to try it. We talk a lot about mindful eating. We talk a lot about food journaling, general healthy living tips associated with that. And then you receive vouchers for your household to purchase fruits and vegetables. So it's not just on an individual basis. If you've got a family of 4, the idea is we want everybody in the family to be able to kind of engage with the curriculum. So we're at the halfway point basically for this year's program, but it will run again next year. And we recruit through those clinical partners. So if you are someone who goes to one of those clinics or know somebody who goes there or, is interested in the program, we will be running it again next year. And we just love to see all the new faces that come out and participate with us.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for this information, for sharing with us all the amazing benefits and milestones that Forsyth Farmers Market has accomplished. We see here 1,400 pounds of food distributed, $4,000 went to local farmers to purchase food. There are 5,500 in donations to date, 800 meals served to approximately 200 families. And then this is all done by volunteers. This is 20 volunteer hours to pack food bags. This is an amazing effort by the community. And it really is helping, especially in such a timely manner with everything that we've been going through with the pandemic. And with the situation of how people are navigating life and trying to heal. I'm going to post, I received a link for the farm truck schedule, and I'm posting that in the comments for you to be able to grab that link and keep up with the farm truck. And then you can also go out to the market on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 and ask any questions, right? Vendors are there to help with questions. Volunteers can help with questions. You all can help with any questions. You can reach out to them on their Facebook page and their website to get more information and stay connected, just as we've been talking about before. Is there any final notes that you'd like to share before we head out?
Before you go to a truck stop, make sure you check social media in case it's raining.
Okay, good point. Good point. I love that. All my favorite food trucks will be like, not out today because of the rain.
Double check before you pack up the kids.
Good. Okay. So I hope next Saturday that some of our viewers, some new faces head out to Forsyth Farmers Market. And if it's not something that you can do, maybe someone can do it. Tell the community, share it with others. There's so many amazing benefits and opportunities that we have in the community to share the love and to stay healthy and to stay happy collectively, because it's not just about the one, it's about the unity of us all collectively working towards this good and this feeling of happiness and joy and of health and wellness. And we can do that together. We can be the change. And I thank y'all for being a part of that. I thank you, Alfonso, for coming in to talk about how you're being a part of the change. And that's what the show is all about, to talk about what's going on in the community, how we're all taking our initiative to be the change, to collect time to have conversation. And with the pandemic, we stopped being able to see each other in person. So we created a virtual format to be able to do it here virtually. Now things are starting to open back up. Yes, we're being safe. Yes, we're being conscious. But we're also able to integrate more public settings and have these same conversations together. So thank y'all for coming out. This was Savannah Community Headlines Live, where we were able to talk with our guests today on the water cooler about things that are happening in the community. The Racial and Ethnic Approaches to Community Health Grants has different partners who put initiatives around the community to help support with all of these different things that we've been discussing. And we also talked about the CDC grant that is focused on COVID vaccines and health and wealth when it comes to staying knowledgeable about vaccinations. So thank you so much for joining us. This show was sponsored by Carriage Trade Public Relations. I am your host. My name is Franny Williams. Those who know my soul call me Fran. Well, my name is Fantasia Williams, but those who know my soul call me Franny. If you want more information about how to connect with me for hosting or for questions about yoga or wellness or a soul chat session to talk about your own healing journey, you can reach out to me at guidedsurrenderinfo@gmail.com. Do we have any final thoughts from our guests before we head out?
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you all. It was such a pleasure to have you. I'm always really grateful for this time that we get to be together. And we are back again. We are here for this type of show. It's every second Monday of the month. And so I believe our next one is going to be July 12th. And that's this show. But don't worry, we still have another show next week with I Volunteer. They focus on the nonprofit sector. And so you can check them out then. So thank you all for your time. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Franny.
Thanks, friend. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.